Throughout the ages, ancient wisdom has passed through the hands of many cultures and societies, from the mystic rituals of the Egyptians to the profound philosophies of the Greeks and the secretive experiments of the alchemists. This ancient wisdom has evolved into what we now call personal development. But in its modern form, personal development and manifestation has lost its connection to its roots, missing a critical element that holds many back from realizing their true potential and manifesting their dreams. Hi, my name is Jaden Easton. In addition to building a business that went on to be featured in the Inc. 5000 as one of the fastest growing companies in America, I've dedicated the last few years of my life and invested tens of thousands of dollars in acquiring and studying rare, centuries-old books, unearthing the secrets that time has largely forgotten. For perhaps the first time, I'm breathing new life into this ancient wisdom, modernizing it and bringing it directly to you. Look, I'm no guru. I'm a student of life, just like you. I'm extending an invitation to you to explore the profound depths of our potential and embark on a transformative journey together. Should you accept, we will begin with the Edinburgh Lectures on Mental Science, published in 1909 by Thomas Troward. Troward's groundbreaking work laid the foundation for contemporary personal development. He's the mentor of the mentor of the mentor of modern-day personal development icons. So you're probably wondering, what the heck is mental science? Mental science is the study and application of the mind's power to shape our reality. Kind of like enrolling in Hogwarts, just less wands and broomsticks. It delves into the hidden mechanisms of thought, belief, and consciousness, revealing how our inner world creates our outer experiences. I want you to think of it as a cheat code for life. By understanding and harnessing these principles, we can transform our lives, achieve our deepest desires, and unlock the boundless potential within us. Like finding out you've had superpowers all along, but instead of flying, you just get your life together, which honestly might even be cooler. So, get ready for a wild ride into your mind. We're about to unlock the best version of you. Diving into the vastness of mental science is a bit like deciding which Netflix series to binge watch next. It's tough to know where to start. And, there's no right answer. Various starting points have their own advantages, but after some careful deliberation, I've decided that for this series, there's no better starting point than understanding the relationship between spirit and matter. Now, you're probably wondering why, right? Well, when I say spirit and matter, your mind probably starts naturally thinking of spirit as something alive, livingness, and matter as something dead, deadness. From an outward perspective, aka only considering what you can see, appearances, this impression makes sense. I don't know about you, right? But I trust my senses. Most of us do. If you touch something and it burns, it's hot, even if there's a sign saying it's cold, you're not going to be like, oh, well, the sign must be right. No, you're going to trust your own senses. Any attempt to override the senses of a healthy individual will eventually fail because the truth always comes to light. Just like that one friend who can't keep a secret at a surprise party. Errors often come in, however, when we overly judge the meaning of what our senses tell us. By nature, we judge by appearances, and we're quick to create stories about situations and events in our lives, like assuming somebody's mad at you because they didn't immediately text you back, right? When we train ourselves to seek the truth and dig for the causes behind appearances, our life begins to change for the better, and we step into a new world of freedom and beauty. But this takes persistence. It takes persistent determination to discover the truth instead of sticking to preconceived notions. It's kind of like trying to get in shape, right? You can't just wish for abs and eat donuts and then outsource the work to somebody else, right? You have to actually do the crunches yourself. You have to actually say no to the donuts. So let's start by understanding what we mean by the livingness we attribute to spirit and the deadness we attribute to matter. This is foundational knowledge for the lessons to come, so it's really important you lean in and understand this. On the surface, right, it might seem easy to define livingness as motion and deadness as an absence of motion. However, modern science throws a wrench into this simplicity, right? Like in my hand, I hold a crystal, and to the naked eye, it looks like dead matter. It looks like it's not moving at all. But if you were to peek through a microscope, okay, you would see vibrating and intense energy at an atomic level, just like a toddler on a sugar high. Okay, so we can't say the root distinction between spirit and matter is motion. We need to dig deeper. So the solution won't be found by comparing life to deadness. The key is perhaps in comparing different degrees of livingness. We know plants are alive, right? But their livingness is different from that of animals. Would you agree? I mean, no kid is going to choose a goldfish over a golden retriever as a pet, right? And why is a boy considered an advance upon the dog? The plant, fish, dog, and boy are all alive, right? But there's a clear difference in their livingness, which is about intelligence. It's like comparing an iPhone to a Motorola Razr, right? They both make calls, but one's definitely smarter. Intelligence measures the livingness of any individual life. It's this greater intelligence that places an animal higher, right, than a plant, and an intellectual man over the savage. Increased intelligence activates higher modes of motion. The higher the intelligence, the more control over motion. To understand this, I want you to think about the complexity of a human body, with all of its organs and cells working harmoniously together versus the simplicity of a plant or a single-celled organism, right? Like, which has more innate intelligence? Which can, recognize itself? You should start to grasp that the livingness of life is intelligence, the power of thought. So we can say that the distinctive quality of spirit is thought. Now, what about the distinctive quality of matter? Well, it's form. For matter to be matter, it must occupy space. And to occupy any particular space necessarily implies a corresponding form. Again, it's for these reasons we can confidently say that the distinctive quality of spirit is thought, and the distinctive quality of matter is form. This radical distinction is important for you to understand because important consequences will follow. Let's continue our train of thought regarding the distinctive qualities of spirit, thought, and matter, form. What does form imply? Think about it. Form implies space and limitation within boundaries. Thought, however, implies neither. So when we think about life, like actual living, breathing life, we usually imagine something that we can see, don't we? I want you for a moment to picture an elephant in your mind's eye. This massive, majestic beast, okay? Now picture a mouse, right? Change it to a mouse. Cute, tiny, and probably the star of some animated movie. Now you might think, hey, the elephant's got more living substance than the mouse because it's bigger. But guess what? Size doesn't matter. Yeah, I said it. Size doesn't matter. A mouse is just as alive as an elephant. Both have life. Now here's the kicker. If we think of life as just the act of living, right, size is actually irrelevant. You can be a colossal elephant or as minuscule as a mouse. You're still alive all the same. And if we can imagine life as something that doesn't take up space, like the essence of life itself, it means it's everywhere, all at once. Now, let's talk about time. Scientifically speaking, time is just the measure of how long it takes for something to move from point A to point B. Are you with me? So if there's no space, there's no time. Mind blown, right? If spirit is something that doesn't take up space, it exists outside of time. It's like that friend who's always late. They just don't follow the same rules as everyone else. They operate in their own timeline. In this view, nothing is far away in time or space. Either it's here or it's nowhere. Without time, there's no future. Without space, there's no concept of distance. That's why some wise folks say thoughts are things, because in a way they are. When you remove time and space from the equation, everything exists in the here and now. It's like Schrodinger's cat, but without the box and the poor confused cat. Just because we can't see something doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Like the movement of atoms, right? We know they're there, we just can't see them with the naked eye. Now, this might seem abstract, right? Like trying to explain TikTok trends to your grandparents, but it's crucial for understanding mental science. Later, we're going to apply this to some cool stuff, but it's just important you grasp these foundational elements. On the flip side, okay, everything we experience happens in time and space, giving us size, distance, direction, and sequence. These create relationships between the abstract, like your dream of being a superhero, and the concrete, like the reality that your costume is just pajamas. You're not actually a superhero. You can't fly. They're not in conflict, but rather they work together. Reality needs both to be complete. Extreme idealists, they ignore the contextual, okay? And extreme materialists, they ignore universal truths. You can't have one without the other. It's like trying to have an inside without an outside. It doesn't work. As you'll soon see, manifesting what you desire involves working in both the spiritual and physical realms. For now, get a good grasp on the difference between spirit and matter before moving on to the next video. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you want to dive even deeper into the mastery of mental science, go to betterthought.com and subscribe to my newsletter. Not only will you find bonus material to complement what you just learned, but you'll also be notified as soon as the next video in this series is released. So go to betterthought.com now and subscribe so we can continue this journey together. Until next time, Godspeed.